Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and as you can see, I have my packed bags, really easy stuff in a hotel room. Now, yesterday I stayed with the Action for Assange crew, but today, as some of you know, I went over to the Roger Stone hearing, which is still going on right now. And I was hoping not to really get Roger Stone, as Roger Stone has a gag order. He wouldn't say anything on the way in or out anyway. But I was hoping to talk to Owen Schroyer and InfoWars about their lack of coverage of the Assange extradition. And if you saw today, if you scroll down today or yesterday, they reposted something from the Ron Paul Institute written by Ron Paul, except for the fact that they frame it that Ron Paul is saying the same deep state that is going after Assange is the one that went after Trump. By the way, thumbs this video up, guys. Here's the thing, that headline is never in there. And although Ron Paul points to the fact that the deep state did in fact not like Trump coming in, it's the same one going after Assange, and he's pointing out the irony that a guy who said over 100 times on the campaign trail that he loved the WikiLeaks, what? Won't stand up for the WikiLeaks. So, thumbs this video up, guys. So, I took a bunch of money that you guys sent. I know we didn't hit the $3,000 mark like I had hoped before Monday. Today's Tuesday. And I said I'd stay till Wednesday if we hit that $3,000 mark. Now, I'd originally planned just to leave today because we didn't, right? But then I found out that although Owen Schroyer wasn't outside of the Stone hearing today, he is going to be speaking here with Gavin McInnes and Alex Jones. I haven't seen Alex Jones in person since 2012 at Chantilly, Virginia, which is kind of close to DC, by the way, right around the corner. And I thought to myself, well, what is this? What is this First Amendment Emergency Conference? And turns out it's being put on by a guy named Patrick Howley and others. You can go and the tickets are free. So now I was thinking, all right, well, the tickets are free. They're saying that anybody can film. They're encouraging the media to come. And Patrick Howley, who I've had on my program, is one of the people throwing it. So I put in for my free ticket, and even though right now I don't have any confirmation, I would assume that there's no way they're not going to let me in. And I booked a hotel for both nights here at the hotel where this First Amendment conference or speeches are going to take place, guys. Let me tell you right now, this cost me quite the pretty penny. Hold on one second. Might be an emergency, you never know. Hello? Hello? No, I'm glad you're calling me. Yeah, and you're with your sister? Okay. I tried calling your mother today because it doesn't look like I'm going to be back till Thursday, okay? All right, just let her know and just tell her to listen to her message. Okay. All right, well, good news. That sounds good. All right, I'll definitely be back by then. All right, bye-bye. And those were my nieces. I'm glad they're checking in. And they just got out of school. So, anyway, they're going to be speaking and they're encouraging people to film it. So, what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to stream the entire conference live. It's from 7 to 10 p.m. tomorrow night. Guys, this hotel, even though it's small, okay, I want to just show everybody, you know, I didn't get a suite or anything. That's the bathroom right there. You're seeing it. Cost me, I want to say, without parking, because parking was another $55 a night, close to 500. My rental car, how much was that? That was 600 if I don't screw it up. I mean, eesh. So again, I want to say thank you guys for donating to independent media. I really do appreciate that. What's this say? You should talk about the rituals of gematria. Oh, geez, ritual stuff again. Set up an account with TD Bank so you can donate without costing anything. I don't know what that is. Is that it's through like GoFundMe or whatever? I mean, there's always PayPal, friends and family. I guess my PayPal's down there. The GoFundMe only takes, I think, 30 cents a transaction and then 3%. It's by far the best way, and that's why we do it monthly, you know. And I know I don't get out on the ground like this very often, but I couldn't help myself. I had to do it. I had to do it. I mean, I have a regular bank, obviously. I used to, when I was traveling more, I'd have what was I, Bank of America as well because they were everywhere. Landlords do that as well. Okay, Laura, I'll check it out. I appreciate it. Is George Webb in town? I don't know much about George Webb's work, so I'll be honest. I don't know what I'd even talk to him about. I know there are some people out there that like him. I know there are some people out there that think he's a grifter. I personally have never really seen anything, so I couldn't weigh in one way or another. Um, Obviously, I'm concerned that InfoWars is not talking about the main points of Assange. For instance, the last 2 days have been huge, huge revelations. Okay? Um, what did we learn? The defense is saying that the United States wanted Julian Assange assassinated, made to look like an accident, perhaps kidnapped, and even a plot to poison him. And this is significant because of his deteriorating health over the last several months. And several months ago, when we did see him in court, he was disheveled, he could barely speak his name, and he told people on the phone he felt like he was being drugged. Okay? And I have not seen anything from tomorrow's news today about the National Counterintelligence Report from 2020 to 2022. It's been out for several weeks. How are you tomorrow's news today when you're 3 weeks behind on the real news that Donald Trump has signed off on a document that in the same sentence puts hacktivists, leaktivists, public disclosure organizations, and people with ideologies in there with what? ISIS, Hezbollah, Iran, Al-Qaeda. How can you not jump up and down screaming? How can you not call out the fact that a man who was telling the truth about Russian collusion in his own presidential race, okay, in his own election cycle, right into the document in the header, in the opening letter, that Russia remains a significant threat, especially in the integrity of our elections. Thumbs this video up, guys. You have to. You absolutely have to. You have to talk about everything. You know, if you watched my interview with Ford Fischer, Ford doesn't do pundit. Reconnect. We are. Okay, we're back. So, oh yeah, I saw the buffering. Trying not to. So, Ford will trash you and anyone in a heartbeat. I don't know. You know, he's been friends with Luke for a while. I've never seen him trash him. I know that he knows Derek Bros. I've never seen him trash him. And Fischer kind of, you know, he doesn't, I don't know, let his politics get in the way of shooting. And I think we need more of that. Not everybody is going to be a pundit, guys. And you need somebody on the ground that's just going to film everything indiscriminately and then put it out into the general populace, not only for the general populace to see in raw form, which is very beneficial to all of us, again, so we can make informed decisions about how we feel about events that are taking place, but also because that is what we are seeing a lack of in China. And that is why we have so much disinformation coming out of the coronavirus situation. He has a lawsuit against Lee Stranahan and other truth tellers on an international hit list. Is that true? That he has a lawsuit with Lee Stranahan? Speaking of Lee Stranahan and Fault Lines Radio had on Action for Assange this morning. Christy, Steve, and Dak were all in studio. I'll have to look it up, Laura. I was totally unaware of any kind of lawsuits between Lee Stranahan and anybody. So I don't know what that's about. I've certainly never discussed that with Ford. Ford was one of the few independent or mainstream journalists that was down filming Action for Assange in front of the White House yesterday. I know some of you guys caught that. And then the march down to the DOJ. Yeah, they did do a great job on Fault Lines. Stranahan and Webb work together on Ukraine Burisma. Interesting. Eyes wide shut. See you all when you wake up. Okay, Jeremiah Gabbard. Oh, so guys, we'll see what I'm going to be doing over the next couple days. Obviously, I didn't bring lighting because I didn't think I was going to be doing any sit-down interviews. I would assume that wherever they're going to have this speech, within the convention center, etc., they're going to have, the ability to be lit. Flick off, morning Burmese Brigade. Stay safe. Thank you, bro. I'm going to stay safe. Again, I've got this hotel for the next 2 nights. So that means that I'm not going to take off after the speaking tomorrow. But let's see. Let's be honest. When they can't talk about the National Counterintelligence Report of 2020 to 2022, how can you talk about the First Amendment? When you can't talk about public disclosure organizations like WikiLeaks and how they're still relevant today, and how those OPCW documents are so important, again, to let people know of a confirmed false flag. Say it with me now. Confirmed false flag. Thumbs this video up, guys. When you have these confirmed false flags, what else? What else do you need but to show that our government is being dishonest in the Middle East and that this war on terror is a farce? Okay? That's what it is. It is full spectrum dominance. It is globalization. It is the loss of truth. And if you saw that interview with Ford, he actually, how do I say this? Aside from coming from a school of journalism and staying completely, in my opinion, devoid of punditry with his work, he does teach a class like once a year to aspiring Chinese journalists, people from China. And when he got done, when he gets done explaining how he covers these things, right? What do they ask him about? Oh, well, how is it that these people are able to protest in that manner and not get arrested? That's dangerous. Exercising free speech in China on a mass level is already illegal. And what has it led to? It's led to mass quarantining. It's led to a ton of disinformation. And it's led to a police state with the ability to disappear anybody they like with zero media scrutiny in a nation of over 1.2 billion people. Talk about alarming. That's more than alarming. And remember, you can't do that to an armed populace. And that's why the Second Amendment is, in my opinion, just as, if not more important than the First Amendment. Okay? Schools are now closing up and down the UK. Because of the skiing in Italy. Yeah, there's a bigger break in Italy at this point with the coronavirus. I believe it's 7 confirmed deaths. Is it? 7 confirmed deaths and like 800 cases. Again, it's miss you and Luke together, but love you, Jason. Well, thank you, man. I miss Luke. I wish he was down here in DC. I wish we could hash it out. I'd have him on in a second, guys. Have him on in a second. I'll tell you what. I'm not going to come in screaming at Owen Schroyer or even Alex Jones if I see him. I'm going to be extremely civil, and I'm going to try to have a real conversation. Thanks, John Elder, for my freaking lavish lifestyle. I know, look how lavish it is. Look at how lavish it is. I mean, I could probably bounce a tennis ball off of one wall into the other. It's so small. CDC went from if to when on the now outbreak of coronavirus in the U.S. And yeah, that is scary. I'm certainly, as when I get home, going to go get at least some canned food and some water, and hopefully, not see anything near the level of craziness we've seen in China. I don't think we will, but the fear mongering is starting to get more and more. I know that, who is it? Rush Limbaugh has now said that the coronavirus is no worse than the common cold and that it's being used to destabilize the American economy. I don't know if that's the case at all, but I do know that no matter what you believe about the coronavirus, that the Chinese government has certainly seized upon that for its own advantages. And remember, I get it that economically there are going to be millions of bankruptcies in China. But at the same time, man, the really scary thing is that in a nation of 1.2 billion people, more than 1/7 of the entire global populace, we can't get real information out. And if the entire thing were a hoax on that level, doesn't it make it that much scarier that a nation state would be able to purport such a hoax, lock people down, imprison them, and then ultimately probably kill them? That's frightening. So that's why this case with Assange is so important. A man that in 2016 in July, according to what came out today, our U.S. government, okay, began plotting to have him killed, poisoned, kidnapped. And remember, this spans several administrations. This is not just about Barack Obama. This is not just about George W. Bush. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate it for that super chat. This is not just about the Trump administration. And Kim.com, please go follow him on Twitter. He released a tweet between he and Julian Assange where he basically says Rohrabacher is coming to see you about Seth Rich. He encouraged him to give him the information. And Assange was stubborn, even in 2017, saying that if they wanted to go this route, they could face the same wrath that the Democrats did. And again, with the OPCW report and the fact that that was a confirmed false flag and our missiles were very, very real, and that our government is still spouting the same propaganda the last administration was, that, hey, these aren't false flags, and Assad is gassing his own people, and this is what? Russian propaganda. Because this administration will use the tool of saying Russian propaganda, just like any administration would at this point, because that's the new talking point. It's not just the left, it's not just the Democrats. That was another thing that really bothered me, is with InfoWars now, it's all right-left again. It's partisan politics, right? So when they say something like the Democrats are the party of Satan or the Democrats are the pedophiles, it's just not true. Thumbs this video up. I want to give two examples right now of high-level pedophiles within the government that were indeed Republicans. And we don't even have to go all the way back to the Franklin scandal, which involved what? Republicans more than Democrats, although people on both sides of the aisle. You can go check it out yourself. Lawrence King, he was a Republican who sang the national anthem at one of the RNCs back in the day. Okay, and this guy was an up-and-coming superstar for the Republican Party. Well, forget about up-and-coming and superstars. How about Dennis Hastert, who made his way all the way up to the Speaker of the House? That's frightening that somebody can get to that level while being a serial child molester as what? Labeled by a judge, and yet never done any time for it. Zero. And while he was Speaker of the House, you know what else he did? He went real light and obfuscated some big facts on a guy named Mark Foley. Mark Foley, another Republican, somebody who's trying to make his way back into politics now, by the way. So Mark Foley is somebody that was championing, have a seat. Remember the guy? Have a seat. Have a seat. That guy, right? Chris Hansen. Championing Chris Hansen and To Catch a Predator on television. And what's he get caught doing? Sexting young male pages. So you tell me how that's a right and left issue. You tell me how all the pedophiles are on the left. It's just bullshit. And it's got to be called out as such. That's what we're here for. We're here to call out evil wherever it resides, whatever political party it reigns in. Say it's not about left or right, blue or red, liberal or Democrat, conservative or cuckservative, libtard or liberal. It's just all nonsense. Yes, Chris Hansen, Kim Brody, he was the one who had the MSNBC show To Catch a Predator. And Chris Hansen had Foley on his program because Foley, was saying that To Catch a Predator was doing more than all this other legislation that he was actually involved in to protect children. Go look up Mark Foley, or just go watch Invisible Empire: A New World Order Defined. It's towards the end where I have Mark Foley in there. Unfortunately, at the time, Dennis Hassert had still not been outed as a serial pedophile. So that's it, man. You have to call out all sides. I'm going to do so. I'm going to go try to have conversations with those people, not screaming matches. I, I have no illusions about the fact that it may and probably will turn ugly. Yeah, it was an underage kid. Of course, it was a 15-year-old Paige. Yes, 100%. 100%. Oh boy. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm gonna stay true to myself no matter what. And if anybody tomorrow that's speaking at this First Amendment thing, if they want to have a real conversation about the First Amendment and how it's not just the left that's trying to eviscerate it, and it's not just right-wing voices that are being suppressed, if they can own up to the fact that, for instance, Abby Martin is suing the state of Georgia because she refused to sign an anti-BDS pledge, basically vowing her allegiance to Israel in order to do a speaking event, that's disgusting. No one should have to sign something like that. It's appalling. It's aberrant. It's unnecessary. It's disturbing. So guys, I'm going to get going. Please consider going to hit the GoFundMe up again. I don't have a lot left in the bank account, probably just a little bit more than enough to get home as long as nothing goes wrong on this trip. So please consider hitting the GoFundMe. I love you guys. I love everybody who supported me. It's been great meeting some of you, including Drufus and others on the streets of DC. Thumbs this video up on the way out and share it with people on social media. And make sure you let people know what's really going on with Julian Assange in that case right now, because it is so important. See you on the flip side.